Once upon a time, it came to my attention that a student of mine was taking things that did not belong to him. He knew that it hurt other people and broke relationship and made it difficult for the other members of the community to trust. And he did it anyway. And then when he was confronted with it, he absolutely denied it and tried to throw other people under the bus by saying they had done it, even though these accusations were not credible at all. And I took him aside and said, I just need to let you know that I don't find any of your responses credible, and I still believe that it's you who was taking these things, and I'd like to give you the opportunity to take responsibility for that right now and apologize and let everybody know that it will never happen again, and wipe the slate clean, and we'll say no more about it. And he insisted that he hadn't, even though that was the only real way it could have happened. Then again tried to point to other people, and I said, I want to tell you a story. And he rolled his eyes, knowing me. And I said something very much like, there are many things to being a human being that are not fair. We are born small and powerless, completely dependent on people who are bigger, more powerful, call the shots, tell us what to do. We don't understand why they're making the judgments they're making. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. All of this has a real strong feeling of being unfair. And we know that from very early. And there are basically two choices as you get older and realize that what you're feeling is things are basically unfair. You have two basic choices. And one is to decide to make things as fair as they possibly can be. We're born, we have no control over that. We die, we have no control over that. We get sick when we're alive, we have no control over that often. Other people we love die. Unfair. And you can be part of team Make It More Fair, or you can decide life is unfair, and I'm going to take what I can take and be unfair to other people, because that's life, and they can deal with it. And I'll get, whatever I can get out of this to try to make it as rich, as fair, as try to make myself as powerful as I possibly can, so I can get as much of what I want as possible. The problem with that is that if you decide not to be on the team that tries to make things as fair as possible for everyone, you become a part of the problem rather than a part of the solution, insofar as there is one, because obviously there's no solution to human beings not having control over everything they would like and being able to get the things that are, at least the things that are very important to them. Turns out we don't have much control over much of anything. We're very limited, and that's just the way it is. It's not very fair. On the other hand, we are not deserving of, or we often don't earn all of the amazing things that happen to us. Waking up, breathing, being able to sense exciting and engaging parts of our lives and to feel joy and be really grateful for what we do have, that there's no way we could possibly deserve because we did not earn it or control the circumstances that made it possible. So it goes both ways. And the more fair we make things for everybody, the more emotional space, the more potential they have to be grateful in their lives and make the unfair parts as fair as they possibly can be. And he said to me, everybody, when something happens to them and it's not fair, they take retribution. They get mean. They are angry at other people. They cut them and are cruel because things were not fair. And I said, true. I am guilty of that myself. I react in an unkind way when I'm upset and frustrated. I feel like something is not fair. And I take it out on other people. I use my power in ways that is not ideal, that does not give the example to myself and to other people how you can experience unfairness, the feeling that things are unfair, and say, hang on, I would like this to be fairer, and give other people a chance to respond in a way that is fair. It is a natural thing to feel frustrated at what is unfair and seek retribution. You totally feel that. But if you behave that way and seek retribution, again, you become part of the problem rather than part of the solution to life's unfairness, what we can just call the human condition. I am limited, things happen, they're not fair, and I feel bad. If you then try to make other people feel bad and excuse your behavior, you are not civilized. Because civilization, being with other people in community, involves choosing responses that make relationship and build community and are in service to life, rather than being a predator and taking what you can from other people. We decide. Humans decide. And he said, well, what does it really matter? And I said, well, if the argument about civilization doesn't really matter to you, and being humane to each other is not something you would like to model so the world is more like that, and I would like you to think more about that, let's make it personal. If you decide that you will take retribution, that you're entitled to hurt other people when you feel frustrated, I will not teach you. I cannot in good conscience teach you martial arts to be more powerful. I cannot teach you how to interpret stories and communicate with other people in a persuasive way. I cannot encourage you when you reach for power. In fact, it would be my obligation to make sure that you do not get power, because you will use it as a predator to take from other people and to spread unfairness, rather than to work in the natural human condition to choose to make things more fair rather than less. So no matter what argument will move you, you have to choose whether you would like for me to teach you or not. He immediately decided he was wanting to be on the fair team and started behaving in a very different way. And I know that he was doing that because he wanted me to teach him. But I hope he, and I hope you, will think carefully about this conversation. Somebody very long ago should have had this conversation with politicians of our current acquaintance and said, I will not support you, I will not vote you unless you are on Team Fair. Give that some thought. Thank you for your attention.